The Cherokee Nation was part of the 5 civilized tribes of the Southeast and occupied 40,000 square miles that nearly included nearly all of modern-day Georgia. Their possession of the land had been disputed since 1773, when a small part of northern Georgia was given to the Georgians to repay a debt. The United States took claim to Georgia in 1802 and vowed to remove the Cherokee and another tribe, the Creek. Land was taken from both the tribes in the early 1800s. A lottery also began where any white man could enter to win a portion of Native American land. Andrew Jackson, a man who had always opposed Native American land rights, was elected as president in 1828. It was at this time that gold was discovered in the northern mountains of Georgia. A gold rush began, and miners and their families flooded the mountains. The legislature of Georgia started pushing the removal of the Cherokee even stronger now. In 1830, the Indian Removal Act was passed by Congress, and it quickly became law when Jackson signed it. John Ross, the chief of the Cherokee Nation, led his people to bring a lawsuit against the state in Cherokee Nation versus Georgia, 1831, in an attempt to create a separate nation of Cherokee. The court ruled in favor of the Cherokee. In Worcester versus Georgia, 1832, Chief Justice John Marshall determined the Cherokee were sovereign, and therefore the Removal Act was invalid. Despite the fact that the Cherokee Nation was now independent from the United States, President Jackson refused to halt the removal of the Native Americans. He stated, "John Marshall has made his decision. Now let him enforce it." A vast minority of Cherokee signed the Treaty of New Ochata in 1835, which sold ancestral lands to Georgia and forced the Cherokee to move west of the Mississippi River. President Jackson told the Native Americans, "My friends, circumstances render it impossible that you can flourish in the midst of a civilized community. You have but one remedy within your reach, and that is to remove to the west. And the sooner you do this, the sooner you will commence your career of improvement and prosperity." Army troops began rounding up Cherokee and led them to temporary removal forts. The troops cruelly removed the people from their homes, and often stealing from and separating families. The Cherokee traveled in steamboats, on rivers, and on land. Conditions on the trail were awful, and thousands of people died from illness and other causes. Eventually, the tribe settled in Oklahoma, but life was extremely difficult. Today, the Trail of Tears is considered an extreme cruelty against not only Native American, but all Native people, and many say they hope an event like this never occurs again. However, history has repeated, and similar events have occurred to tribal people all around the world. The Bushmen of Africa have occupied Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and Angola for thousands and thousands of years. The Central Kalahari Game Reserve, the CKGR, is in Botswana and designed to protect the Tsila, Gwi, and Ghana Bushmen's ancestral lands. Diamonds were found in the CKGR, specifically at Gope, in the early 1980s. The Minister of Commerce and Industry announced that they were planning to relocate the Bushmen in 1986, but no action was actually taken. 2 companies, De Beers and Falconbridge, completed an evaluation of the mine in 1996. A massive eviction of the Bushmen from the CKGR occurred the year after, in which the water supply was destroyed, homes were completely destroyed, and schools and hospitals were closed. The same kind of eviction occurred in 2002 as well as 2005. All the people had been driven out of their ancestral lands and lived in terrible conditions. They could hardly hunt, were affected by many illnesses, and faced alcoholism. They fought back and started a court case against the evictions in 2002, although the hearings did not begin for 2 years. Representing over 1,000 Native people, 239 Bushmen and 135 other adults signed off on it. The case took an extremely long period of time. Finally, in 2006, the court ruled in the Bushmen's favor. The evictions were determined unlawful and unconstitutional. They could return to the reserve now. A Bushman spokesperson, Rose Asana, said, "Today is the happiest day for us Bushmen. We have been crying for so long. Today we are crying with happiness. Finally we have been set free. The evictions have been very, very painful for my people. I hope that now we can go home to our land." Cruelty against the Bushmen didn't stop with the ruling, though. The government had capped the people's water supply during the eviction. meaning that there was practically no source of water on the reserve. The Bushmen attempted to win back their water supply through the court in 2010, but they were denied rights to use an existing water hole or to drill a new one. A year later, the ruling was appealed, and the Bushmen finally had a source of water after 9 years. The cases of the Cherokee and the Trail of Tears, and the Bushmen and the evictions, shows that history repeats itself. Both the Cherokee and the Bushmen were native tribes living on ancestral land. A discovery of a profitable material was found on their land, and they were forcefully removed. It was gold in the Cherokee's case, and diamonds in the Bushmen's. Both tribes took their problems to court, and the cases were ruled in their favor. However, the government ignored the rulings or made life extremely difficult. The difference includes that the Cherokee had problems with land before the discovery of a profitable material, and the Bushmen eventually returned to their homeland. But the stories of the Cherokee and the Bushmen are very similar and show that history repeating itself in different times and places.